Alana Covington, and this is The Takeover. Today we will be interviewing Chef Anthony Ford, who works at Maria Restaurant. Hi, Anthony. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
That's good. Well, can you tell me about the culinary art school that you went to and what were the challenges that you faced?
Well, the first challenge I faced actually was picking a culinary school. There are a lot of them out of there these days, and that was the difficulty I first faced. So I sat down and I kind of looked at them all, weighed the pros and cons, and the general consensus was that the Culinary Institute of America was pretty much the best school out there. So that's what I chose, and that's where I went.
What separated the Culinary School of America from different culinary schools?
Well, first, the alumni. A lot of good chefs have graduated from there, and it just seemed to have the most rounded out curriculum. So I figured that would be the best school for me, as you know, not having much culinary experience. I needed to see as much as I can in as little time, and the culinary school that I went to showed me that.
Okay. So, who influenced you, or what influenced you to become a chef?
Well, first thing that happened was I graduated high school, and initially I wanted to go into business, but I was just tired of school. I didn't want to do it anymore. So I figured I like to eat. Why not try cooking? And I'm an only child, and as an only child when I was younger, the only time I really got to see all of my family and my cousins and stuff were during family functions and holidays. And a lot of what brought people together was the good food. And seeing people's expressions eating a good plate of food really sparked something inside of me. And I want to give that feeling to other people with my own food.
Wow, that's amazing. Well, that's great. Well, what would you say is different about, restaurants that you work at, upscale restaurants like Maria, different from Grand Canyon or like Five Guys? How are the chefs different from them?
Well, as a chef and a cook, I would definitely say if you work in a restaurant, you are a hard worker. It's not easy work at all. It's very demanding. But I would say the major difference is the refinement in technique and skill. They're just different skill sets. At a place like I work at, like Maria, people come in and they're paying not just for the food, but for an experience. And your skills just need to be a little more refined to be able to provide the guests with the kind of experience that they're expecting.
Wow, so it's better quality all around.
I didn't say better quality. It's not poor quality at these restaurants. It's just a different experience. You can go into a Five Guys or a Grand Canyon or whatever, and it's good quality for what they're doing. But when guests come to a restaurant like Maria, they're looking for something different. So it's just different, a little more refined, a little more skillful. But
Okay. So, well, yeah, because I liked them. I went to Maria and I actually liked it, and everything about it looked great. So I'm sure you guys have wonderful food there as well.
we do. It's really good. If you get a chance, you definitely should come. I'll look out for you. You know the chef. I'll make sure you get taken care of.
How many chefs work in the kitchen at a time?
Uh, first, I just want to tackle something. I feel like nowadays the word chef is thrown around very loosely. The restaurants that I work in, the term chef is used just a little more stringently for somebody who just has a wider base of knowledge and a larger skill set, and also who's in charge. So in the kitchen, people cooking, I'd say we have about 15 to 20 people on any given day. And yeah, out of those 15 to 20, I'd say 15 are actually doing the cooking, and the other 5 would be the sous chef and the executive chef and the chef de cuisine, etc. And they just kind of finish all the plates and do all the expediting.
Wow. Okay, so I understand. So, being a chef, is it hard to manage your weight because I mean you're around food all the time. So, do you find it harder to eat lighter or?
That's actually a really good question. It's really funny because as a chef, people ask me that all the time, and it's like they don't understand that in a kitchen, everything is really, really fast paced, and you're moving really quickly all day, and you really don't have time to just eat. and like gorge. You do a lot of tasting throughout the day to assure quality and whatnot. But there's not just a lot of eating. You know, we have our family meal, which is just basically our lunch period, and you know, you take a little 20 minutes or whatever, and you eat. But that's about it. There's not a lot of gorging and you know, eating all day long, as people think.
So, would you create your lunch meal at your job, or
Well, the chefs create the schedule, and the schedule designates who will be cooking the protein and the starches and the vegetables and the salads. And we just kind of have liberties to do whatever we want. We'll ask them to order certain things so we can create certain menus, or we will have like maybe a Mexican theme or Indian or Korean. So, yeah, we kind of do create the food that we eat.
that's cool. Well, what would be, your favorite dish to create?
My favorite dish to create for something that I just want to eat. I mean, I'd have to go with something Mexican. Really love Mexican food. I do. It's really good.
Mexican hurts my stomach. I hate Mexican.
Well, let me make it for you, and I'll see if I can change your mind.
Yeah, because I usually eat a lot of Mexican. I just stick to the basic chicken and taco. Nothing out there. Nothing like crazy, like guacamole.
Not for nothing, I've known you for your whole life, and you stick to chicken all
Yeah,
the time. So.
basically. Well, what would you, tell aspiring chefs?
I would definitely tell them that if you have not worked in a kitchen, work in a kitchen and do it for at least 2 years. That way you can really get a sense of what it's like to work in a kitchen. The pace, the determination it takes, the dedication it takes. Because becoming a chef isn't an easy road. It takes years, and it's something that you really have to dedicate yourself to. And I think with the advent of the celebrity chef and food personalities, I think that people kind of think you go straight from culinary school to the Food Network. There's a lot of time and a lot of hours put in.
Would you want to ever have your own food show network like Emerald Live or anything like that?
Perhaps sometime in the future, but right now I'm really just focused on harnessing my craft and expanding my skill set and being the best cook I can be.
So where would you see yourself in like 5 years?
In 5 years, hopefully I'll be in a managerial capacity at a fine dining restaurant.
Wow. Well, thank you so much, Anthony. It was a pleasure to have you on The Takeover, and I hope we hear from you soon.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. As you can see, Chef Anthony Ford is definitely taking over. The quote of the week is by Jim Rome. Either you run the day or the day runs you. I'm your host, Alana Covington, and this is The Takeover, signing off. I couldn't forget.